Good evening, everyone. I'd like to welcome you to the Pawtucket School Committee work session on Thursday, March 28th at 6:05 p.m. Ms. List, please take a roll call.
Ms. Bonello? Here. No. Mr. Shalal? Here. Ms. Doobie? Here. Ms. Fernandez? Here. Ms. Grant? Mr. Charbonneau?
Here, please rise for the pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, we will move to public participation. We have two community members signed up. Ms. Bento.
Good evening. First of all, I'd like to start off with saying thank you to the members of the school committee and the school department who showed up last night to the meeting at the city council. I'd also like to say that you guys were down there, according to the city council president, without an invitation. So thanks for coming down anyway. I didn't like what I heard yesterday when they addressed Mr. Charbonneau. So I'm going to say thank you for a job well done and for coming down there and representing the years of experience you've had on this committee. We all know that the city doesn't like when someone knows too much. So there's a reason why they try to keep you out. I'm going to apologize to you on behalf of our city council, because some of us have them sitting there. When the comment came up about somebody self-appointed himself to decide who the big dogs were. And I think that when it comes to the school committee, you are the big dog, and you should have been invited. So I wanted to say thank you for coming anyway, and for giving your testimony the way that you did. It helped to clarify some things last night, although we still don't know how the 3.2 came back, but we'll leave that one alone. I've been talking a lot to people in the community that have been watching this all week. And it's kind of disturbing what I've been hearing. Well, it's not disturbing so much to me because I've witnessed it and saw it so much, but it's becoming evident to other people that not enough participation comes from the community in these meetings and city council. And it's because of the disrespect that they watch when they watch it at home. There's so much disrespect that goes on in the panels that why would anybody want to come down? It's like a turnoff, you know what I mean? If you officials get to disrespect each other the way you do, then why should the citizens come down and witness it firsthand? The last time I was here, I made mention yesterday at the city council, I'm not going to repeat it, but I made mention of something I witnessed here last time. I came down today in hopes that I don't see it again. I did call out a few names, and I won't do that here today because, you know, I'm going to behave a little bit, but I'm hoping that these meetings and those meetings start to be a little bit more professional and respectful. And on you guys' behalf, I will say you guys have handled this whole situation perfectly. On the city side, that's where the whole disconnect comes in. And we've been watching it for so long. And I hope that as of last night, the city and the school can kind of work a little bit better together. Yesterday looked like you guys were on a good page. And I hope that was real, and I hope it continues. So thank you again for you guys all week of dealing with the social media stuff going on too.
Thank you, Ms. Bento. Ms. McCoy.
Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for this opportunity to speak in front of you all. My name is Kate McCoy, and I come as a representative of a petition of thousands to not build the school at McCoy Stadium and to save McCoy Stadium. I also come as a representative, as a young millennial, and I will be mainly speaking with that perspective today. I come with a message of hope that it is not too late, and that this all is actually a great opportunity for us all to look more closely at what is going on. Rhode Island has a bridge problem, right? And that bridge problem is also here. We just heard a community member talk about the community not having a voice, right? A bridge is presenting itself and has presented itself with the community. And yes, certain parties were invited last night, but was the community invited last night? Where are the public hearings? Where are the town halls? Where are the polls? Where is the clear voting? There is an important election coming up in November, okay? This is an opportunity. Yesterday, there was a bomb threat here in this place, which is probably still vibrating with that fear and tremor. And that meeting was not postponed yesterday due to those events. Now, as someone who lost their best friend from high school at the Virginia Tech shooting, I know school violence. I carry it with me every day. And I come here with a message of hope. Standing here, okay? Daniel Patrick O'Neill gives me strength to speak on this matter. He is with me. He is a connection. This voice needs to be heard and needs to be listened to. And there is hope. There are teachers that have come to these meetings speaking on this concern, right? That is hope. These solutions need to come to fruition. There needs to be creativity, and the solutions are within the community. There is a great resource in the community. Here, have a town hall on school violence. Bring the community in. Hear what they have to say. We're seeing misguided comes to mind, right? Funds, priorities. This is a priority. The priority, right? One of the priorities. And these problems are not just going to go away in 5 years with a new school. In fact, the second concern after discontent with where this administration is going currently, when I spoke to hundreds and hundreds of people, the second concern was school violence. Okay, this is important. The community, they're trying to send signals and flags and warnings. There needs to be some reception here. Okay, we need to allow dialogue with the community. We need to work on our bridges. McCoy Stadium has served as an anchor to this community, to Rhode Island, to the greater community, and it has become a lighthouse, shining on corruption, guiding scared students to safety, because this place has always been safe, always provided safety to families and kids. And it is a symbol, and it is important, and it has meaning, and it is still serving the community. We ask that you pause Allow this lighthouse to help guide. Please do not ignore this opportunity. Do not be blind to it. It is hope. And we can do this together. We are here to help. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you, Ms. McCoy. All right, we will move to the recognition portion of the agenda. We are thankful to have Representative Felix here with us this evening, and I will turn it over to Superintendent Royal.
Good evening. Oh gosh, here I go with this mic. You can tell I was a teacher. You know, teachers always, we just get up here and make it our own. So I'm a true teacher. Thank you so much for coming out, Representative Felix. So before I start, I want to say, okay. All right, so I will start with the gentlemen and then the ladies. With immense pride and joy, I stand before you today to acknowledge the outstanding achievement of our Tolman High School boys basketball team and girls basketball co-op team from both Shea and Tolman High School. Yeah, give it up. I give it up. Yeah, I hold back. Don't hold back. I'm a basketball mom. I get it. I understand. My daughter was the point guard, so I was the basketball mom, okay? So these exceptional athletes have showcased unparalleled dedication, resilience, and teamwork, culminating in remarkable success that have brought honor to our schools and our community. First and foremost, let us extend our heartfelt congratulations to our Tolman boys basketball team on their incredible journey to the division finals. These young athletes, and can I add good looking young athletes? I see y'all over there. You done got all shined up for tonight. Okay, unwavering determination, passion, and sportsmanship throughout the season, captivating our hearts with the electrifying court performances. I was able to make a couple of games. Y'all showed out on the field. Okay. Your hard work, perseverance, and commitment to excellence have earned you a place in division finals, as well as admiration and respect of all who have had the privilege of watching you play. And I'm just going to jump to the girls real quick. The ladies, and to our girls basketball co-op team, we extend our sincerest congratulations on your historic achievement of winning the Rhode Island Interscholastic League Division II state, I said state, not local, state championship. Yes, definitely. Your journey to the top has been inspiring, characterized by grit, resilience, and an unwavering belief in yourselves and each other. Your dedication, unity, and relentless pursuit of excellence have propelled you to victory, making us all incredibly proud to call you our champions. As we celebrate the accomplishment of both teams today, let us also recognize the tremendous support and guidance provided by our coaches. Where are our coaches? Give our coaches a round of applause. Thank you. Our mentors and supporters, their leadership, guidance, and unwavering belief in our student athletes' potential have been instrumental in shaping these remarkable achievements. Their commitment to fostering a culture of excellence, sportsmanship, and camaraderie has been the driving force behind the success of our basketball program. Finally, to our loving, devoted parents, families, friends, and supporters who have stood by our teams every step of the way, thank you for your unwavering encouragement, most of all, love and support. Your presence, cheers, and enthusiasm have propelled our teams to greatness, and we are immensely grateful for your dedication. In conclusion, Congratulations once again to our incredible student athletes, families, coaches, and supporters. Your accomplishments have brought immense pride and joy to our school and our community, and we cannot wait, I know I can't, to see what the future holds for each and every one of you. Congratulations. Give them a huge round of applause. So gentlemen, you come down. Come on down. All right, now, I don't care how tall you are, I'm still the boss. Where's Miss Lisa Ramsey, our assistant superintendent? Has some awards in her hand.
So we have some awards first and foremost for the coaches, if they would kindly come up. Denzel DePina. Not here. Eli Itzkin, not here. Okay. Mike Neal. Hi, Mike. Congratulations. Would you like Mike to introduce his players? Mike, would you introduce your players?
Of course.
Thank you.
I'm trying to be humble.
I hate speaking. Hi, everyone. I'm Representative Felix. I go by Leo, and I use she, her pronouns. Just here to really congratulate you all in terms of your wins, in terms of your accomplishments. I had the opportunity to go to the city event and present the school with a citation, but I felt that it was really important to bring individual citations for each and every one of you. Our community doesn't get celebrated the way it deserves, and especially being up at the State House, I can hear my colleagues, the way that they talk about our urban core in Pawtucket and Providence, Central Falls, as if though we were less than just because we are from the urban core. Yet we're from the urban core and you guys still beat their behinds in terms of this game and everything. So I just want to say thank you. It's no lie in terms of how proud the community is of every single one of you and the work that you've done. So to me, I'm a graduate of Shea, so got to give a shout out, and it's just really proud to be able to give back to my school and to all of you in terms of at least celebrating your accomplishments. So thank you.
So coach, you call her name.
They want me to read the citation so you all know what it says. So, be it hereby known to all that the Rhode Island House of Representatives hereby offers its sincere congratulations to name Tolman High School boys varsity basketball team. In recognition of the outstanding athletic achievement of placing second in the 2024 Rhode Island Interscholastic League Division II Boys Basketball State Championship, signed by the Speaker of the House, the Minority Leader, and myself on behalf of the Pawtucket delegation.
And I guess Mama Bonolo want me to also read. Okay, the Pawtucket School Department proudly presents the Certificate of Achievement in recognition of your outstanding performance as a member of the Tolman High School Boys Varsity Basketball Team and advancing to the RIIL Division II State Finals. Congratulations, signed by myself proudly, and also our Chairman, Charbonneau.
All right, first up, we have senior Isaiah Goyce. Next up, we have another senior, Poppy Fall. Next up, another graduating senior, Daniel Salisbury. Rolling with the seniors right now. Another one, Alex Alvarez. Junior, Nicholas Fleury. I'm never to say your last name out loud. Not here. Junior, John Hilaire. Senior, Ericles Pontes. Senior, Malik Jelinas. Thank you.
Thank you. Let's give them another huge round of applause, gentlemen. As you exit, ladies, step to the side for the gentleman come so we can bring the young ladies down, please. Oh, I'm sorry. Thank you. Mama Bonolo, that's her new nickname for me.
I just need to say to these ladies, I took my family to the game when you played at the dunk, the amp, whatever we call it. And I don't think I've seen a more exciting game of any sport. We were on the edge of our seats, and when you won, I think the entire air, I honestly think that everyone in there was cheering you on. It was amazing. You were amazing.
So first and foremost, just wanted to extend our congratulations and recognize you all for the hard work that you guys put in and for the dedication to our co-op girls, the basketball team. So just want to first and foremost give the coaches before they give out to the youth. So thank you guys for everything you do.
So head coach Walter Gonzalez, head coach, and head coach John Licker. Second on behalf. And assistant coach Andrew Magret. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. She's not. Parissa Montero. Janae Ashton. Not here. KK Blair. Ariana Nike Blanco. Trinity Burke. Tiara Gonzalez. Not here. Benji Kamara. Armani Money Rivera. Aislinn A.Z. Medina. Not here. Asia Rodriguez. and I've been coaching her since 6th grade. Kasaira Fernandez. Not here. Angel Sheriff. Not here. Tanaya Teamer. And last, but not certainly least, we've won multiple championships together, multiple sports. We're going for our fourth, since 6th grade, Alexandra Larios. Don't give me a mic.
Thank you, thank you. And most important person, we have an award for our athletic director, Mr. Dino Campiano. Yeah, awesome, awesome. So thank you so much. Let's give him a huge round of applause and thank you so much. Now you all see why I do what I do. You are the reason why I do what I do. So thank you.
I'll leave this here because I don't want it to fall. So one more thing in terms of recognitions that we wanted to present. She's not here today, and it's for Fatima Barry, excuse me, Tolman. And it reads, in recognition of the distinction and honor of receiving the Exceptional Student Leadership Award at the Pawtucket Black Impact Award ceremony on February 29th, 2024.
Right. We will move on to approval of previous meeting minutes from 2/29/24. Motion by Ms. Grant, seconded by Ms. Pinolo. Any discussion on the approval of the previous meeting minutes? All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion passes. New business discussion action items. I'll take the first item, the city school finances. Do you want to speak to that as well, Superintendent, or? I was basically, I put that as a placeholder. Everyone's aware that the council met last night. The superintendent represented the district. RIDE was there, and the mayor's team and the mayor were also present. So I don't know if everybody had a chance to watch the meeting or attend. I know some of you attended, but I'll open it up if anyone has any questions or comments, and the superintendent and I can do the best we know to answer them. Ms. Doobie.
So, I know that the date for the audit, at least what the city has said, the date is, March 31st was the date that they were shooting for. And I know that in all the conversations and emails I've been copied on, that the school district has been okay with submitting everything. Are we still in the same place where we have submitted everything needed for that audit?
Yes, we had one more form to submit, which was the DTP,
Okay,
and working with the previous CFO, and we'll definitely have it in.
okay, wonderful. Thank you.
Ms. Finolo.
Excuse me. So there are a couple things that I think I'd like you to explain. Not that you didn't do them last night, but there may be people watching here that weren't watching last night. And that's one, the 3.27 million that was returned to us. And the other would be about bonding. And the use of our PAYGO funds. I know you talked about it last week, but you clarified it more last night. I was on Zoom, so I did see a good portion of it. And the fact that, you know, we're in process of fixing our financial with the new CFO and a full financial team, where we're at with that. And that's enough for you to.
Okay, I mean, I'll tell you what I know, and I'm sure the superintendent will jump in as we go. But as far as the housing aid, the 3.27 million reimbursement that was due to us in March, my understanding of the chain of events was the superintendent sent an email notifying the city that it was on its way. It was subsequently sent over from the Department of Education and then placed in the city general fund for whatever reason, confusion but I know that the superintendent gave him the heads up that it was coming. She was in contact daily, checking on its status. And to my knowledge, it was transferred over yesterday, I believe. The floor is yours. I don't know if you want to add anything, or if that's good, we covered everything there.
We received it yesterday.
And that's been transferred over to the capital reserve?
Yes, it was transferred as well.
So that 3.2 million was reimbursements for money that this committee had authorized for projects using our capital reserve fund. And as you know, when we get those RIDE approvals, even when we use capital, we get the reimbursements coming in. So I was speaking with the superintendent this morning, and she had indicated at about 7:30 that it was transferred over and then moved into the capital reserve. As far as the bonding and the PAYGO, they're the two primary sources of school funding as you know, the pay-go is simply that. We pay and we go, and we get the invoice back. So we spend $1 million on a roof. As soon as that's done, we pay the contractor, we get a paid invoice, and we submit it to RIDE, and then they cut the check. I was stunned to hear that RIDE's turnaround on checks for that process is a day. A government agency that can turn around checks in a day, I thought was pretty remarkable. So that's the pay-go. But you're being reimbursed as you go. So there is no reimbursement coming after the job is done, because you've essentially spent all the pay-go, you've been reimbursed, you've put it back into the project, and now you need a little bridge to finish the project, if we use Winters as the example. When they go out to bond, they go out to bond for a fixed amount of money, 50 million, 100 million. I was under the impression that we always talked about there was $100 million worth of bond, not even touched, for Shea and Tolman. I thought we went out for the whole, the interest rates were at all-time lows, if not zero. I thought we went out for the whole thing. Apparently, we went out for only 30 million back in 2022. So when you go out to bond, you only get reimbursed when the project is complete. So we spent bond money at Baldwin, and now we're stopped. If the city was anticipating a reimbursement starting to flow, Baldwin's got to be complete before that happens. So that's the difference, and that's why I referenced the 50 million we've received in pay-go for the unified high school. We need to watch that, because based off our preliminary estimates, that taking down the stadium, readying the land, is going to run us somewhere in the neighborhood of $40 million. So there's not going to be a lot of that pay-go left when it's actually time to put construction equipment on the site and start building the school. So that's what I know about bonding and pay-go. Ms. Doobie.
I just want to point out, you just said something that I actually said at the last meeting, which is I was under the impression that we had gone out to bond for these projects. And I think that can be confusing, because we're on the school committee. I've been on the school committee for a decade. We've done many projects through bonding. But I think what's important to understand is that approval to kind of go out to bond, it's put up to the voters by the city. It's then approved by the voters, and then the whole process of going to Ryback and actually bundling these bonds together and saying, okay, here we're going to go out for a band, that all happens on the city side. So in that decade I've been on, we've never interacted with the bonding process. It's always been that it's done on the city side, and then we use the funds, and our facilities committee approves how those funds are expended. And so I think that that's the biggest kind of shock that at least I've had, was about 2 weeks ago, realizing that those bonds, that we hadn't gone out to bond. And that's how it can happen, that it was a shock, because it isn't something that would come before us on an agenda to say approval to go out for another $30 million. So I just wanted to clarify that.
Ms. Pinello.
No, I'm good.
You good? Mr. Shaw.
Mr. Chairman, thank you very much. I want to just, some of us that were there last night, when I was in the chambers, I want to thank you, Superintendent. Your leadership came through in this incident, this ordeal, the financial ordeal that we've had for about, Jay, you started questioning back in January. So, I mean, we didn't know how much was in capital reserves. You went around, we were short $2 million, short, not missing, short $2 million. We found out that we have 6 in the reserves as of last night, so that's good. That we're getting definite answers, concrete answers, in your leadership, getting us there. And I don't know if anyone else felt it, but it was informative. I was educated on how you don't want to bond the whole entire thing. Jay, I'm on the same page with you. I thought you go out, the voters say $330 million in bond, you get a $330 million check. So it's informative that you don't put out or ask for money for the HVAC system while you haven't even developed your foundation yet. You want to go out per project. So that was informative to hear from RIDE. But I also felt a great feel of, in the room, collaboration. Someone said it at the podium tonight. I hope that continues. The collaboration that was in that room last night, there's no need. If I came across like that last meeting, I hope to goodness I'm pointing away tonight. There's no need for finger pointing. Sometimes when I get passionate about something, I can come across a little hot-headed. I don't mean to, but if I care about something, like we all do, we care about the finances. If our finances are off, Baldwin's going to stop. The Unified High School's not going to start on time. So Superintendent, I was just Chairman, I was just questioning process last time. I think last night we got some real good concrete answers. So I like the direction that the city and the school department is going to be going in the next step. And the best of luck with the new hiring the new CFO, because that sounded like there was, I'm missing that department, the financial department, and the former CFO not having a good bullpen, not a good, but having no one in the bullpen really put us behind the 8 ball. But because of your leadership, you got it done in the last 2 weeks. I'll give you that. So it sounded very positive last night. So thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Schloss. Ms. Fernandez?
It was my understanding that this was, when Melissa was still here, that all that was done. So I think last night, for you, you said you got a lot of answers. To me, it just was, we kind of went in round circles, pointing fingers back at the fact that we didn't have a CFO. And I feel like that was something that was done prior to the new superintendent even coming. So I left that meeting with a whole different take than you did. I think it's hard to say collaboration when, again, the members of the school committee weren't even brought in on any of this. So I have a different take. I too hope that that everybody can work together, but I think that, yeah, there's just a lot of stuff that goes on behind closed doors, and then they point fingers at the school committee members that we're not even involved in, with things we're not even involved in. So I did not leave that meeting with I didn't get the same vibe from that meeting that you did.
And I think, you good, Ms. Fernandez? Yeah, and I'll just add to your point, Ms. Fernandez, the conversation seemed to be centered around the fact that the school department never applied or never asked the city to go back out for bond. But that meeting actually took place. Our longtime CFO, Melissa Devine, is a pro, and she did not leave the district in a lurch. She had the meetings, just like she had when the former CFO was here for the city. There was a meeting with the current CFO of the city, Melissa Devine, Derek Osterman, the assistant finance director. They were provided with the cash flow for the projects for Baldwin. So that's a point of clarification. The meeting did in fact take place. There's an email thread indicating that. And so we followed the same process we've followed for every project we've done. Anything else on that? All right. Transition spaces. Ms. Grant had asked about tabling this. I don't know if you good?
We can discuss it.
Ms.
Sure,
Grant?
I'd appreciate it. I had asked the chairman if we could place the transition space for the handicap bathrooms in the transition area over on Main Street. For the people who don't know, once the students in the special ed class graduate, they are offered to stay in the district until the day before their 22nd birthday. The reason for that is to work on skills, whether it be teaching them how to live alone, maybe
Also, they give them the ability to work on jobs, taking the bus, different things. So as of right now, the transition class is located in the bottom floor of our school department on Main Street. And I would say for well over a year now, we have been discussing on facilities, revamping the area. You know, with the new high schools and some of the other schools within the areas, you see spaces that have bedrooms, kitchens, bathrooms, living rooms. And these aren't areas for them to just lay down and take a nap. These are areas for them to learn how to make a bed, clean a toilet, make food. And also, we have noticed that in that space is that there are not any handicapped accessible bathrooms. It was brought to my attention, and Ms. Bonolo, I know, was also made aware of this. We have a student who has graduated. They are still over at Tolman, receiving transition services. But this particular person is not with their peers in the transition area, because we do not have acceptable bathrooms. So kind of back to why I asked for this to be on here is I know we have a lot going on with the financial, and I completely understand that Baldwin is definitely a priority. But there are some other things we have spoke of on facilities and have brought to that we have been told at one time that money was secured for it. And then unfortunately, with the change of CFOs in December, it was brought to my attention that the source that I thought was found for it, that there was no source for it. So I guess I'm trying to find out how moving forward can we make sure, do we do a list, or how do we start kind of getting back into making sure all of our students get what they need in regards to facilities? And I don't know, how we go about it, but as important as Baldwin is to the elementary students, a proper transition area is as important to these young men and women who are trying to move on and learn skills for their future.
Grant, I know we've spoke of this numerous times. I know you've had it on the agenda numerous times. And I think you're right. We've committed a funding source to this. But let me, if you will, let me do some more homework on that, on what happened to that funding source. And to your point about how we, moving forward, keep better track of these projects we have ongoing. I'd like to have a conversation with our team at Collier's about how we develop a spreadsheet or something that identifies the funding source, identifies the project, tracks it through its stages. And this way we're all on the same page, we're all looking at the same thing, and we're all expecting that these projects move when we approve them. Because I know we've approved this about a year ago, if not more.
Thank you. I appreciate that. And I know, like I said, I completely understand, but I think we have to keep in mind all of our students and what all of our students need. And, I think this is something that this has been well overdue for them. So thank you.
Ms. Liz, can you please make a note to add this exact agenda item to the next meeting, please? Thank you. Absolutely.
And I just wanted to add, just today, Rosa's smiling at me. And Lisa, Collier's team, we were in what, a 3 or 4 hour meeting today discussing this very same thing, that we have to put a process in place that is clear so that not only are we talking about what are the needs, that's definitely a need that need to be addressed, but also how do we plan out our reimbursements, our bonding, you know, what funds can we roll over next, when the next dollar and what is the next project? Because what I've uncovered being an active CFO is that that is the need, so that everyone at this table have a deep understanding of, because I think we've been like high level watching. I think the whole team as a whole need to have a deep understanding of what those projects are, when they're happening, when do reimbursements occur, what funding source will be used for that. And then if everyone has the same information, then we can hold each other accountable for those projects that we decided upon. So we just started a conversation today for 4 hours. I had an apple for lunch, but it's important. So moving forward, we got another one scheduled for next week, and we're going to continue that work. So I totally agree with you.
Ms. Bonello.
So, just to go on what Kim said, we had originally earmarked space in Jenks for that, for a transition area. And then we changed it over to the admin building. And I understand that we were going to put in the bathroom, the ADA bathroom, and then we were going to have our maintenance and to put in the living quarters, because that was supposed to be more economical. The reason we did that is we do have someone over in the admin building who is in a wheelchair. And the only way that they have access to the bathroom is to use the elevator. And if the elevator ever goes out, they have no access. So that's something we need to address. And they deserve their space. And they deserve a little more space than what was allocated to them. Because they're adults, they need that area. So, yes, I would like to see that happen.
Absolutely. We'll follow up in the next meeting, and I'll hopefully have some more concrete answers and a path forward. All right, anything else on the ADA bathrooms? Approval to award district facilities master planner services. You're on a roll. You want to take this one?
Okay, so basically, still working on identifying that service we have to create a scope of work. So, which is, Hirsch has been my right-hand man in helping me write these scopes of works out. So we're in the process of trying to get that done so we can get a quote from the companies. And I'm also working on scope of work for an auditing firm. So we've identified 2 auditing firms that can come in and help us with creating our budget for the upcoming school year so we can meet the deadline April 17th. So working with both, like I said, Hirsch has been very helpful and supportive in helping me get that work done. So we should be moving forward very soon with that.
Thank you. I would add Ms. Grant, you have something on that?
I just wanted to ask a question. In regards to the master planner services, is this a company that's going to come in and design a new master plan for the district?
Long-term planning. So I'm asking to create a plan, looking at all of our schools, our community, earmarking what we need to get done within the next 10 years.
Okay.
Because we have so many projects going on and it's ever evolving. So to have someone come in and just strategically put that in place for us would be very, I think, worth every penny.
Thank you.
And I put the item on after conversations with the superintendent when she reached out and shared her thought process on this. And listen, I think the master plan we currently have is probably like 20 years old. So I spoke with the superintendent. I think it's overdue that we do this project. I also spoke to legal counsel and inquired if we could hire right off the MPA. And we can in fact do that. I put it on as approval to award the district facilities master plan services because, as the superintendent indicated, she's in the process of writing that scope of work. And I was looking for this committee to approve the superintendent, once she's got that scope of work, hiring a firm right off the MPA, rather than having to come back to us and say, this is the firm I've interviewed and would like to go with. I think if we approve that now, she can finish the scope of work and then assess right off the MPA and get somebody in here to start working on it. Ms. Manolo.
How long is it going to take to finish your scope of work?
Probably within the next week or so, because I'm trying to get the budget, get that together for first foremost. And simultaneously working on them both. So hopefully by the end of mid-April, I should
Okay,
have
so
a
we
firm
have a meeting
identified.
April 12th.
Yeah, the 11th or the 12th. But anyway,
Right around there.
Yeah, I can shoot for that date. Not gonna promise, but I will definitely shoot for that date.
well, again, the reason I put it on is so that it doesn't have to come back to us. Because an award off the MPA is a phone call from the superintendent to the principal of the firm saying, we liked your proposal for the master planning services. We'd like to bring you on board. And then the superintendent negotiates the deal off the MPA and we move forward.
Motion to authorize the superintendent to hire off the MPA.
Motion by Ms. Doobie to authorize the superintendent to hire for district facilities master planner services right off the MPA, seconded by Ms. Grant. Discussion. So discussion, roll call on that, please.
Ms. Manolo.
Yes.
Mr. Shalal.
Yes.
Ms. Doobie.
Yes.
Ms. Fernandez.
Yes.
Ms. Grant.
Yes.
Mr. Charbonneau.
Yes. All right. You're up.
Okay, next we have our school calendar. It's my other angel of support here, Miss Christina. You step to the podium just in case there's some questions. So, Lee and Christina have been very supportive in helping me go through the calendar. I also met with our president of the Teacher Alliance as well. We met and discussed the calendar as well. So what you have in your book is our final draft for approval for next year's calendar. Elaine can walk through like some of the minor changes that we made. He also received feedback from his team, teachers as well. I did also from administrators, and this is what we're proposing. So if you have any questions, just let me know. But two of the main changes were the week for Thanksgiving was a change, and also December. And from what Ron shared to me, that comes around every once in a while when we're able to do it and work so smoothly that way. So those are the two major changes off the bat. He made another change as far as looking at our professional day. And Ron, you can step to the podium if I miss anything. Professional day, and the last day of school will be the 23rd. That would give us our 4 state required days for makeup days. And then also one extra on the 30th. So,
Motion to approve the 2024-2025 calendar by Ms. Doobie, seconded by Ms. Grant. Discussion, Ms. Doobie.
So I'd like to hear from whoever in the room wants to weigh in on the Thanksgiving decision. I know this is something that many of the private schools do, that they have that entire week off. Was it unanimous that this was something that we wanted to try in the district? Is this?
No, it was not unanimous. There was some discussion. The superintendent and I were not completely in agreement on the full week of Thanksgiving, mainly because it puts us out at a much later date in June than we're used to. While there's some feeling amongst my members that this is great, there's also some feeling that, holy cow, that's a late end of the school year. So there's some caution there. In our discussion yesterday, Superintendent Royal and Mrs. Christino and I really discussed what does this mean for us, and in order to compromise, because we actually had an even later date than what's there now, we were able to compromise on professional day so that we will start the school year with one professional day instead of two in August, and instead of having election day as a day off for teachers, that along with the students, because we're required to have the election day closed in November. We all know that Pawtucket elections are essentially decided in the primary. So the November election will be a professional day to replace the second professional day we would normally have had at the start of the school year. So the answer to the question, the easy answer is no, it wasn't. But the compromise gave us a situation where, though it's still a late end of the school year, we are still able to get our 4 required makeup days within a time frame that still allows us to have all the rest of the processes that need to happen before the close of the fiscal year.
Thank you. And I do know that this is a collaborative process. I know when I was chair and that I saw that this is something that is worked out with your team and with your team. And so I support the conversations that went on. And thank you for giving more clarity around that.
If I could just add that really quickly, though we were not in agreement at the beginning, when we left the meeting yesterday, Mrs. Royal and Mrs. Christino and I left feeling very comfortable with the compromise that we made.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Mr. Shalala and Ms. Manolo.
That almost, Ron, I wanted to ask, so you guys do accept this? Because I circled, just off the top of my head, I'm looking at November. I've never seen the full week off. And then I'm looking at January. I'm counting a minimum of 4 days that I've never seen as a school time off that you guys can get out June 17th. But you are okay with this calendar as is?
When you're looking at December, could you?
January.
January.
January 2nd and 3rd. Now, I know that's the Thursday, Friday, and I bet it's nice to have the full 2 weeks off. I get it. But again, this is your profession.
Yeah. So,
educate me. But June 17th is much better than June 23rd.
It is, because it gives us a little more leeway. Our buildings are hot. January 2nd and 3rd, and all of the people who are around the table are pretty much sitting in the room. And I'll say the same thing to you that I've said to all of them. I am always on the losing end of this week. When the winter break, the December break falls, where there's only 1 or 2 days after the January 1st holiday, it is always that Ron Beaupre wants to come back to school on the 2nd of January, and Ron Beaupre is the only one in the room that says that. And I say, not only around the negotiating table, but also around my dinner table at home. That 2-week break, when it happens every couple of years, it's not every year, it's maybe once every 3 or 4 years, that is the ability to take a full 2 weeks in the winter. I am always the one on the losing side of that battle, and I'm usually the only one on the losing side of that battle. So yes, our members are very happy with this. Superintendent Royal and I had a great conversation about this. Our teams worked well together to put this together. And the compromise you see in front of us is wholeheartedly supported by the Pawtucket Teachers Alliance and the Pawtucket School Department together.
Ms. Manolo.
Okay, so I have a few things. So during Thanksgiving, we are usually off a half a day on the 27th, and then you get the 28th, we have the 27th, 28th, and 29th.
So
Wednesday, Thursday, Friday.
That was a new procedure when COVID hit. The Rhode Island Department of Education calendar started having, their proposed calendar started having the Wednesday off and Thursday and Friday of Thanksgiving week. That was brand new. We always went to school Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, full days. We don't have any half days in Pawtucket. We've always gone to school Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, full days, and had Thanksgiving, Thursday, and Friday off. When COVID hit, the Rhode Island Department of Education changed that in their proposed calendar to have the Wednesday off as well. That was new then. In this year's state proposed calendar, the Rhode Island Department of Education did not include the Wednesday as a no school day. We believe partially, and I can only say this as a belief, we believe that's partially because of the fact that we have to have both September 10th and November 5th as no school days for kids because of the election.
Okay, so my problem with the Thanksgiving is we have multiple schools that do their turkey trots on those days. We also have Aramark having a district-wide Thanksgiving dinner for our children, kids that might otherwise not have a Thanksgiving dinner. That's when they give out the Thanksgiving baskets to our families. So they would be doing it 5 days before Thanksgiving. And so that was that for Thanksgiving. So they also have to take care of childcare for 2 extra days. And then for January, they have to take off the 2 extra days. So if you take the January 2nd and 3rd, the 2 days in November and the 1 extra day in December, that gives you 5 days, which would put you out of school on June 13th versus June 23rd. But I'm looking more at the services for the children and what they are going to miss out on. I understand that everybody wants their time off. Everybody makes plans. But for a lot of our kids, the only thing they see is what they see in school. And the things that they get when they're in school. So I have a problem with them missing their turkey trots and their turkey dinners and their Thanksgiving baskets going out too early, because that's a question of refrigeration and keeping the products cold. So looking at the children, I would vote no for this.
And I appreciate that, Ms. Bonolo, that position. I think certainly the superintendent could have a conversation with Aramark to pull the Thanksgiving dinner to the preceding week or the beginning week. I know the mayor's wife's done a remarkable job over the years with the turkey basket giveaway. And I'm sure that we could, I know most of the time they're delivered to the schools. But I know she gives 500, 800 of them away every Thanksgiving. So I'm sure she would work with us too and find a compromise there. As far as the turkey trots, again, the superintendent could pull that a week forward. But Ms. Fernandez, you had something?
So I agree with Ms. Bonolo. This is these breaks are too long. Families plan. As a parent, we've had the same plan forever. Like families plan on their Thanksgiving break, their Christmas. Like this is two full weeks for Christmas, a full week. I'm not in favor of this either. As a parent, absolutely not.
So I'm on the other side. I think that for the childcare argument, it's either childcare then or it's childcare in the summer. So they're either paying for an extra week of summer camps and summer programs, and often when most of them are starting after the July 4th break, it's paying for a week of childcare. So I do think that it's 180 days either way. It's just a matter of when they fall off. And I do think that, at least from my time in the classroom, that those days that are wedged in there, when you have these like a month, like you come back on a Thursday and Friday, attendance is is low for both teachers and for students. And those days end up becoming unproductive because you have people who are traveling. We have a lot of families. I know when I was a teacher, but I also know within Pawtucket, we have families who travel to other countries around that time. And that being able to get back, they see it as 2 days and they're just not going to come back for them because might as well just extend it. So I do think that having a full week, those couple of full weeks in June as productive weeks before that last week that you kind of have that wind down procedure is more productive. And I know that I'm sure there are teachers who disagree with that as well. But as a parent, I see this as more easier for people to say, well, family's coming to town around this time. I have people around, as opposed to finding that childcare in June.
Mr. Shaw.
Let's say the worst case scenario happens, we have to use 3 or 4 of the days. I know one of just a great and incredible summer school teacher. Do we have enough time to do summer school if, God forbid, we have to go all the way to June 26th? Like, is there enough time to do it through the month? I mean, I'm just asking, throwing this out there. Are we putting ourselves, yes, we do have enough time? Okay, just, because I don't know, I think summer school starts in the second week of July, right? Right after the 4th of July, so we're gonna be fine. Okay, just throwing it out there that we have enough time for that, but, because I was wondering, I know some districts have fooled around with the February vacation. I know some teachers don't want to hear it. I know, but I'm just trying to get you guys out earlier in June, but if, I'm having a hard time approving this because, not because of you guys don't deserve time off, but even you guys said there's a debate within your own membership. The Thanksgiving week and I didn't even think about the domino effect. I mean, we do stuff for the children of this district that might be counting on those Thanksgiving dinners and turkey trots and but everyone signed off on it. The 2 major parties have signed off on it.
Thank you, Chairman. Just a couple of things to talk about. The December break, December into January break. There are few times in the course of the calendar where we're coming back, where we come back to school because of the New Year's Day holiday is falling on a Wednesday or a Thursday. So instead of coming back for 2 or 1 day at the end of that break, to Ms. Doobie's point, there is very low attendance throughout the district. With regard to the Thanksgiving time in November, again, that was something that was discussed and we were able to come to compromise. We were not in agreement in the beginning, Superintendent Royal, and I know Ms. Lofton over there is smiling at me because she and I were certainly not in agreement on this, that the whole week of Thanksgiving, we were not in agreement to begin with. But to be able to come up with that compromise where we were able to move some professional days around, we were able to get to a point of agreement on that. With regard to Ms. Bonolo, you had stated something about an extra day in December. I'm assuming you're talking about December the 13th or 14th? Oh, the Monday.
Which adds into that week, which I understand.
Right.
that
So
one,
there
but-
is, well, not only does add into that week, I believe, and it's not my contract, but I believe that there's language in the non-certified contract or the administrator's contract that does not allow them to work on the day before the Christmas Eve, if I'm correct. Correct. So the 23rd, they would have off based on their I could be wrong on that. I'm not well versed in their contracts. The 23rd, we could come to school for 1 day. You would definitely see a very low attendance on that day of students for sure.
If I can jump in for a second, I think this particular item is a good lesson for all of us about compromise. You've heard from the leader of the district, 2 leaders in the district, who sat down, didn't agree out of the gate, spent some time with it, worked it out and found a compromise. and they're presenting it to us for approval, you know, that's how this should work. Not only here, but out there and everywhere. It should be people having conversations and people reaching compromise. That's my thought. Sure.
I just want to add, one of my main reasons for my stance was thinking about our teachers and our leaders serve our kids in the community every day, all day, weekend, sun up, sundown, 8 days a week. And when it's an opportunity that they can have family time with their own kids, their own parents, their own families, I think is well deserving because they work hard for everybody else's child in the community. I just think it's important to remember that they are mothers, fathers, sisters, brothers, daughters, sons. So to give them the opportunity to have time with their family is important as well. So that was my perspective.
Anything else on this, Ms. Fernandez?
And I hope that, even before I was on the council, I'm surprised that you teachers would want to go into the summer as well, because as soon as the end of May hits, all we get are complaints about how hot our schools are, We've even had to take days off because it's been too hot in the schools. So the fact that you all wanted to go further into June is shocking to me, because that's been an issue here since my son has attended school here. Soon as it gets warm. And so to go further into June is a little, I'm not in favor of this. I'm not. As a parent, and I feel like I need to speak up, not just for myself, but I need to speak up for the other parents in the city. I'm not in favor of this. A full week in Thanksgiving and 2 full weeks at Christmas time.
Anything else on the calendar? There's a motion on the floor to approve it. It's been seconded. No further discussion. Roll call on the approval, please.
Ms. Vinolo? No. Mr. Shalal?
Yes.
Ms. Doobie?
Yes.
Ms. Fernandez?
No.
Ms. Grant?
Yes.
Mr. Charbonneau?
Yes. All right. We will move on to JMW Travel Club. Mr. Marquetti, nice to see you this evening.
How are you?
I'm good. How are
Thank
you?
you for having me. Jason Marquetti. As Patty said, Country Club JMW. Peter Laritas. We both teach history there. Again, thank you for having us. I've been doing field trips to Europe for about 20 years. I started the travel club at JMW in 2009, where I exclusively just take JMW kids to Europe. The program is a year-round program, so the kids are required, obviously, to pay tuition. We travel over February break every year. The students do not miss any school, but they do stay after school every month, twice a month for 2 hours to study. And the travel club is not just the field trip to Europe, but it's the course that we teach. So in 2009, I think I took maybe 12 students. And this year we got 51 applications. So the program has grown in size and popularity, and it's really become an important piece of our school. The teacher ratio is 6-to-1. So there's plenty of teachers that go on the program. And if any of the students decide that they enrolled in the program and then they decide they can't travel for whatever reason, they get 100% of their money back, no questions asked. Okay. We negotiated with the tour companies over the years, and because we're Title I and we're inner city, they afford that luxury to us. In case of any illnesses, we take the nurse with us, which is solid veteran move right there. So the last few years, the nurses come with us, which is great. So just in case anything comes up, she handles that. And then Pete and I fundraise all the money for the students. We fundraise like $5,000 or $6,000. So by the time the kids get to Europe, they don't have to spend any money. We cover everything for them, all their activity at lunch. All they're responsible for 9 days is lunch. We cover all the activities, all the museums, anything they want to do, and we fundraise the money throughout the years. Oh, right, we're going to go to Italy this year. We were in Paris last year. We did 9 days in Paris and Barcelona. And next February, if we start today, it would be for next February. We'd be going to Italy, Florence and Rome. Yes, Ms. Grant, we need chaperones. We always need chaperones. I obviously, the work, we don't get paid for this, right? This is just voluntary. It actually costs us a tremendous amount of money out of our own pockets to do this. Like, I'm passionate about this. We don't ask for salaries. The travel club is just anything that the two of us raise through, old school performances and bake sales and all that stuff. So we love what we do. We take it very seriously. We make sure we get, the right students, and, they all fill out these applications and they write essays, and we check grades and we check attendance, and we make sure everything's on the up and up, and we hold parent meetings, and we make sure we do it the right way. And it sounds like a lot, but we don't have any issues. And we all come back in one piece, except for that COVID year. My bad. And it's just really been great. I want to thank you.
Your passion for this program is certainly evident over the years as you've come here and you've spoken about it. You've provided an opportunity for our students, that some who may not otherwise have that opportunity. And the fact that you do it, giving of yourself, your time, your talents, you're a credit to the district.
I appreciate that, and that's what that's what Pete and I do it for. It's for people who would not have otherwise gone. And we do get some applications of students that go back to DR, and they go here and they go there, and it's great to have them because they have the experience. But this student is really, I said to the parents, like, we really want like people that are in their shells. We really want nerds, like people that just really are nerdy and want to go to museums and want to get out of their shell and get out of their comfort zone and hang out with their favorite friends and their favorite teachers. And it's really a maturity program as much as it is a learning program. But we do invite their parents, but selective parents, of course. Sorry about that.
Anything for the travel club, Ms. Grant?
Thank you. Yes.
In your club, do you guys work with students who need like passports and things like that, or do you find the majority?
You don't underestimate how little they know about going outside of the state. We do everything with them, as far as teaching. First of all, it's, there's some meetings that are just very destination specific, and we're teaching them about language and culture and even food. And then there's just, housekeeping things about money's exchange and passports and visas, and, the lesson on, why we don't need a visa there, but they need a visa here. I mean, that's a really big lesson, right? That nobody understands until we don't have to apply for visas, right? So we do everything with them.
Just nice to hear about the program and what you guys do.
I wish that, and you're all welcome to come into, to come into, some of our club meetings sometime. Mr. Ramsey, Mr. Abbott, the former administration popping in. It means a lot. They're representing the school, the city, our country. I take it very seriously. The last tour director called us the dream team. He said we were the most educated group he's had in 20 years. He does it full time. So when we when we go to France, they study Gustave Eiffel. And when we go to the Eiffel Tower, they know it. They know the design. They know what it was for, right? They do projects, we put them on the wall. So it's funny, they know sometimes more then the guides, and that means a lot to me. That's why we do it, right? So
Ms. Manolo.
So my daughter went, what,
20, no, it was 2012.
2012?
Yeah, I was thinking about that on the
graduation
way
year?
here, yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
and it was the best experience for her, to get her out. She went to, you did Paris,
I think it was
you
Paris.
country
It
hopped.
was, yeah, we did.
We did a lot of country
right.
hopping, and it was just wonderful, something that she wouldn't have done on her own. And I've never been out of the country, so I wasn't gonna do it with her, so it's wonderful.
Anything else on the travel club? Do you need a motion for us to approve something?
I don't know, Ms. Ramsey, do we need, what do we need? I submitted a field trip permission slip to your office, and I think we got bumped around and we landed with Ms. Ramsey, and I think she just wanted me to address this, right?
I think that we should probably show our support so they can go out to begin the travel plan.
Motion to approve, second.
Motion to approve the JMW Travel Club planned trip.
Can I say one more thing, sir?
You may.
I know that some districts, are afraid of liability, and that's important to us too, right? Because we work here and we live here. These are our kids. What is so important by getting the approval of the district is that we want to promote it in our school. And that's really important to Annie and everybody who comes to our school, because not only just European travel, but culture is a big part of JMW. And, some districts are trying to push these types of programs away because, they want you to run it across the street at the library or run it here or run it there. And I don't think that's the right thing, because I'm not interested in doing that. I work here, I work with you. And if you say no, it's no. I'm not going to go across the street and run it anyway. We respect each other, and I would disagree with you, but this is my home. So I was interrupting you while you were approving me, but that is an important piece of getting approved. So thank you, sir.
There's a
Thank
motion on
you.
the floor by Ms. Manolo. It's been seconded by Ms. Grant. Any further discussion on the travel club? Roll call on the approval, please.
Ms. Bonello.
Yes.
Mr. Shalal.
Yes.
Ms. Doobie.
Yes.
Ms. Fernandez. Ms. Grant. Mr. Shabana.
Yes. Thank you both. Thank you. All right. Field trip for committee approval. Motion to approve the field trips for Shea High School, George R. Brown Convention Center, First Robotics, Houston, Texas, April 17th through the 20th, 2024. 4 students, 1 chaperone. Mr. Shalal's made the motion to approve. It's been seconded by Ms. Doobie. Any discussion? Seconded by Ms. Doobie and Ms. Bonolo. Ms. Doobie.
I just want to highlight, because we had this shared with us at Wellness, that this is a cozy. This is coming
It
from
is.
cozy
It's
funding,
cozy, correct.
and it's because someone from Shea has been selected to represent Rhode Island as a Dean's List finalist for First Robotics.
Correct.
So I just want to I hope that on a future agenda we can celebrate that student
The selection.
and just the amazing things that are happening at our schools.
Outstanding. Anything else on the,
No, I'll just walk faster next time. I was just thinking about how to get on the Italy trip, but it's all good.
There you go. All right, there's a motion on the floor to approve the field trips. It's been seconded. Any further discussion? Roll call on the approval, please.
Ms. Bonello. Mr. Shalal.
Yes.
Ms. Doobie.
Yes.
Ms. Fernandez.
Yes.
Ms. Grant.
Yes.
Mr. Shabana.
Yes. All right, school committee policies, first passage, Ms. Doobie.
Okay, so as you know, we've been working, we worked through the entire policy manual over 5 or 6 years, revising, updating. But one of the things that is always ongoing with policy work is sometimes we have holes, we're missing policies, and
it's often when something happens that's brought to our attention and we say, well, do we have a policy on that? And the answer is sometimes no. And Ms. Grant brought this one to my attention and said, do we have a policy on vandalism? And while we do have baked into other policies on, student vandalism within our schools, defacement of property, we don't have an individual vandalism policy. So as policy chair, I did some investigation, found that it was a pretty standard policy to have in policy manuals, looked around at different language. And so this is the results of this. I think I'm also serving as chair right now in the absence of with the chair being up. So it is a new policy. Ms. Grant was the one who brought it to my attention that we did not have one. And it speaks mostly to outside of our school's vandalism on our property. And a motion approved by Ms. Bonello has been seconded by Mr. Shalal. Discussion? Ms. Grant.
Ms. Doobie, I just want to thank you. We, over the last 10 years, maybe even longer, have done so many good things to our buildings. We've added playgrounds, we've upgraded buildings, we've added things, even the schools themselves, their PTAs. And, you just want people to be able to respect the things that we do. People should be held accountable when they do go and they do, vandalize these areas. It takes away from other students. So I really do appreciate you and your team looking into it.
Thank you. There's been a motion, it's been seconded. Hearing no further discussion, Ms. Lissy, please take a roll call.
Ms. Bonello? Yes. Mr. Shalal? Yes. Ms. Doobie?
Yes.
Ms. Fernandez? Yes. Ms. Grant?
Yes.
Mr. Charbonneau?
Yes. All right, we will move to discussion items, safe orderly schools, Shea School, high school progress update. Ms. Rabbit.
Good evening.
Good
It's
evening.
great to see you. I've spent the last couple of weeks at Shea and will continue to be there. And so Shea has a great faculty, great administrators, great parents, and great students. So I want to say that first. We have a common mission, and that mission is to have a safe and orderly school. And that's what we're looking for. So we've been doing a lot of work over the last couple of weeks, and we will continue to do that work because it's not something that can just happen like this. We need to spend a lot of time looking at procedures that are happening in the school, getting faculty and administrator buy-in. And certainly some of these changes are going to take some time. And we'll probably even see some PD around some of the changes. But I'm just going to highlight for you today, and as I understand from the chair, we will continue to update you on the progress. So I'm just going to give you a little bit of an overview of some of the things we've been working on. The admin team has identified morning routines as an issue. So we are adding some monitoring and we are changing our breakfast practices to better serve our students. We have increased tardy sweeps to make sure students are in classes and learning. We are implementing some new procedures at lunch, which include a new type of pass system that we're going to be implementing next week. We're increasing calls to parents, our friendly calls. So we want to have a mix of, your students doing well, congratulations, just, this is a good call, and a mix of, we need to work on some of these issues. We're starting to reorganize spaces to better serve the needs of our students. And that's a little bit of a project. We'll be needing, among other things, a dumpster because we have some spring cleaning to do in order to turn spaces back into usable meeting and classroom space. And we need that, as Mrs. Grant brought up the other day, for instance, we need an OTPT space. So we've really looked at all our spaces, and we have a pretty comprehensive plan. That's going to take us a little time, but we think it's going to really help to meet the needs of students, to meet the needs of meeting with parents, et cetera. We are increasing hall monitoring and really looking at our bathroom monitoring and our bathroom procedures. We are increasing welcoming and positive remarks. So we want our students to feel in the morning, that we greet them, we say hello, our teachers are greeting them, we're giving positive feedback as well as correcting some behavior that needs to be corrected. We've also requested some additional safety measures in the building, and that's important, and our teachers have really helped with identifying some of those needs. We are in the process of requesting a water cooler for the lower level. We don't have a water cooler on the gym and cafeteria level, and I'm not sure how that happened, but that's a real issue for us because the kids can't get for instance, they should have access to water, first of all, and Aramark has, we have containers, but they should have access to a water cooler on that level, especially with gym and the cafeteria being down there. Secondly, we have a lot of movement right now through the building when students need to have a drink of water because we don't have a water cooler on that level. So that's something we are in the process of requesting. So that's just a little bit of an overview. We're certainly working hard. We're developing processes and procedures, and we think we are making great progress. Hi.
Hi, thank you so much for the update. I think that what I'm hearing from some of the items that you're identified, those are only items that can be identified through that collaborative approach with with talking to, figuring out, well, why are you walking up 2 flights? Well, because there's no water cooler. I mean, I think that we sometimes just think that, well, they must just want to kind of move around. And then when students say, or when teachers say, really, this is a major problem, it might not seem like it isn't a major expense, but those creative solutions can sometimes can only arise through collaboration. So I'm happy to hear that there are big space reorganizations and smaller solutions that will lead to a better environment for our students, for our faculty, for everyone who's in Shea.
Thank you.
Assistant Superintendent, Mr. Shaw, you have some? Additional safety measures you're requesting. Can you elaborate on that?
I'm going to try to, generally speaking, we don't talk about safety measures in public. We have realized some items in the building that are lacking or that need repair, and we have requested those through the superintendent.
Okay, so this is
These
more
are issues.
maintenance-based?
These are issues that will keep the building safer, and it also they'll keep the building safer, and it allows us to monitor the building better.
Okay. Anything else? Thank you, Assistant Superintendent Rabbit.
Thank you.
We'll move to Tolman.
Good evening. Much quicker to the podium this time. It's all good. So at Tolman, many of the things that Mrs. Rabbit has said is interesting because they are going to be echoed in my update as well. So when we first started about 2.5 weeks ago over at Tolman, we did have a faculty meeting to kind of get the feeling from the faculty. What are the concerns that they have? We've met regularly. I've met regularly with the admin team. And since that time, we've restructured our breakfast to reduce some chronic tardiness. We moved breakfast from a 9 o'clock hot breakfast to an 8:15 only with a tardy pass. That has encouraged students to get to school on time, get into class. Prior to that restructuring, students were able to come to school, go to class, leave class, go get breakfast. There was a lot of wandering around. So they're no longer able to leave class. They get the pass with the breakfast. That's been a marked improvement. We've increased family outreach for chronically absent or tardy students. We've met as a group. We've put in and enforced supervision on all floors during passing time and during classes. We are no longer allowing any food outside of the cafeteria, whether it's in the library lunch, or a big problem at Tolman during lunch was in the hallways and in the stairwells. That is no longer the case. They're in the cafeteria. That's reduced the number of students in the halls, the classroom disruptions, as well as quite frankly, the trash in the hallways. We've started tardy sweeps again. Interestingly enough, our first tardy sweep, we collected 220 students in a tardy sweep. Our most recent tardy sweep had 30. Detention has been given for the repeat offenders. We've set up regular detention, and we've increased some supervision there. Monitoring disciplinary write-ups to the office. And I think this has got to be related in some way to our decrease in tardy students, but over the past 2.5 weeks, we've had a 40% decrease in disciplinary office referrals. When we first started, we were averaging about 84 to 90 per day of discipline referrals. Just the 27th, we had 33. So we're particularly proud of the hard work of the teachers, the staff, and the administration. We're clearly communicating our generalized expectations. We're speaking common language. We're getting out there. The students are hearing it not only from one person, but they're hearing it from person after person after person. Our bathrooms are being monitored. We've increased, like I said, active hall supervision. Teachers are out in the hallways, duty stations. Teachers are at their doors welcoming the students to their classroom. We are working on repairing the cafeteria doors. Currently, the crash bars are not engaging, and the doors are able to be opened from the outside when lunch is not happening. So students were gathering in the cafeteria. We've had facilities over, they're ordering a couple of parts. It's a simple fix, they tell me. So we'll replace the crash bars so students during non-lunch times can't necessarily hang out and hide and cut class in the cafeteria. And interestingly enough, Mrs. Rabbit, I did not know that you needed a water fountain, because we also have a water fountain issue, and our water fountain is on the basement floor and not on the 3rd floor. So if most of the academic classes are on the 3rd floor and there is no water fountain on the 3rd floor, guess where they're going? All the way down. And they're wandering and wandering. So we've identified a location, and we've had facilities over already, and that will reduce roaming on the lower level. So that's where we are at Tolman. We're working hard. I want to commend the teachers and actually the students. They've reacted well to the changes, and for the most part, they're doing what they need to do.
Anything on Tolman?
So I have 2 questions. One, the breakfast. So you
Breakfast.
cut off at 8:15, a hot breakfast. What if a kid arrives at 8:20? Do they not? Breakfast is done. Breakfast is put away at
Breakfast is
8:15.
done.
There's no breakfast.
Well, if it's a unique situation, obviously we can handle it, but for the most part, by and large, breakfast is over at 8:15.
Okay. And what is a tardy sweep?
A tardy
Did I know
sweep, you heard it at Shay too. A tardy sweep is when the bell rings, the teachers close their doors. We have staff in the hallways. They scoop up anybody that hasn't made it to class on time, and we write down their names. We acknowledge the fact that they've been late, and we track that, and then we escort them back to class. So it's promoting students on time to class so they can be in their seats and learning with their teachers.
Ms. Grant?
I want to commend you both, Ms. Ramsey and Ms. Rabbit. It's good to hear this. It's good to hear that things are happening. It sounds like there were things that were a little out of control for such a long time. And I think the students needed things to be put in place quickly. I know there are other things that you guys are all going to be working on, but there are some things that I really do believe needed to be in place soon. And it sounds like some of the things that you have looked into with the staff and acted on has been done very quickly. And I think that's something that's both good for the schools, the kids, and the teachers. So thank you.
Anything else? I will just echo Ms. Grant's comments. I think it's not an enviable situation to be walking into by any means. And the fact that you've both embraced it and you've made meaningful changes and continue to look at opportunities to make the buildings more safe and orderly. This was a great update, so thank you both. And thank you for putting this in place. It's a great, all right. Motion to adjourn by Ms. Grant, seconded by Ms. Doobie and Ms. Bonolo. Any discussion? All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion passes. Good night, everyone.